The Gift of Fear is a book by a guy named Gavin de Becker, and I want to talk about it because it's such an important book. So he talks about trusting our intuition, particularly when it comes to threats and danger. And it discusses how we often, we have an innate ability to sense when something is wrong or something is unsafe, but our desire to be polite, especially with women, often makes us override that intuition. And so that's why it's called the gift of fear, because that fear is a gift that has evolved over millennia to help us survive. It's our brain's way of picking up on subtle cues from our environment, allowing us to sense danger before it happens. However, one of the main points of the book is that we ignore these red flags because of conditioning, mostly, especially women, how we have this society that encourages us to be polite, courteous, accommodating, not offend. And so we may completely dismiss our gut feelings. And so he even goes into, talking to people where they, went through some sort of attack. And then in retrospect, they saw that they did have a feeling of danger that they ignored. Right? So, of course, it's not advocating being super paranoid or being rude to everybody, but it's a really important book about balancing this cultural need to be polite with really trusting your instincts and tapping into them and listening to them, taking your instincts seriously. There's always people who will say that, you're being paranoid. When I'm online, I see Twitter's is full of garbage in general. But I've read a lot of, threads where women talk about sensing danger and men are commenting about how they're paranoid. But I promise you, you'll probably never, ever regret listening to your intuition, but you might regret ignoring it. So, if you haven't read The Gift of Fear, I encourage you to read it. No matter your gender, it's just a really, really important book. Of course, I was first attracted to it because I'm a hypnotherapist, so I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's the subconscious mind, but also it's a book that I've told so many people to read and women to read because it's such an important message. Listen to your gut.